Hey everyone, hope you all are doing well. So as usual, this video is just to sort of give you an idea of what we'll be doing this week and what's expected of you this week and the following weeks to come. So I have a lot to cover, I feel like, so I'm just going to get started. As usual, you're going to go to modules, and this week we're working on module 3, writing a literacy narrative. So the past few weeks we've read literacy narratives, looked at the rhetorical situation in each of these narratives. So now we're going to start writing our own literacy narratives. So I have an overview, I have some information from Norton Field Guide. So for those of you that are still struggling getting those textbooks, I've given you quite a bit in some of the modules. So you should be able to survive the following weeks, or this week anyway, without having the text. So I have a writing activity for you, and this is going to be in place of your discussion board. This week it's a little different. I'm only requiring you to make a post, an initial post. You do not have to respond to your peers. It's optional. You certainly can. That would be great to sort of help maybe generate some ideas for them, ask some questions to sort of help each other start generating ideas for your first essay. So again, this is just an initial post. I do want it to be thoughtful and engaging as your other posts have been. So this is just, you'll be writing about an early memory of reading, writing, or language that you recall vividly. So I really want you to focus on one memory and describe the setting, think about key people, just be as descriptive as possible and try to focus it on one memory. And this will hopefully help build up your essay. Okay, so again, reply to peers is optional. This is just an initial post. So I'm just giving you points for what you post this week for this writing activity. Okay, so that's part of your work this week. So again, you'll go through it, you'll see it. I show you different ways of starting to organize your literacy narrative. And again, I would really look back to the texts you've read as examples of a literacy narrative and sort of try to use them as a model of writing your own literacy narrative. Okay, I do have a couple of assignments other than the writing activity for you. So I have here ways of organizing a literacy narrative, and this is just sort of outlining your text, right? There's many different ways to outline or draft your essays. It doesn't have to be from beginning to end. As you've noticed in some of the texts, they don't start at the beginning. Sometimes they start at the end of their story and kind of go back and build up to that moment where the significance of their text is revealed, right? So you'll be looking at that, and then one of the activities that you'll be doing is you'll be taking only one of the literacy narratives that you've read, and I want you to sort of use those models of the text box outlines that you find in your Norton Field Guide, and I provide the page numbers in the modules, and I want you to sort of outline one of the texts that you've read. Again, this is not a huge assignment. Make sure it's brief. I don't want detailed explanations, and I have an example for you here. I use Agassine's essay, and I sort of break it down and explain how she structures her essay. So I believe that Agassine, she begins with an action, so in the middle of something, and then she begins to fill in the details of her childhood, and then she explains her resolution, and then she sort of gives the significance of the story, right? So that is one of the assignments you'll be doing this week. And if you read through, I explain more about how that can be done. So that is one activity. So the writing activity, the organizing a literacy narrative that we've read. You'll also be reading one more literacy narrative by Malcolm X, and then I have you doing a triple journal entry for that. After that, that's all you have to do this week. Then what I want you to start doing is focusing on your own essays. So I have here the prompt and guidelines for essay 1, which is your own literacy narrative, and you can read through it. It goes into detail how you can start structuring it, maybe what you want to talk about. It gives you it's a good guideline for starting your essays. Okay. So I want you to start thinking about those essays and start forming drafts, because I'm going to have a rough draft of that essay. I want that to be turned in by Wednesday, September 9th by 11:59 p.m. So that is when your first rough draft will be due of the essay. It's not due at the end of this week. It's due next week on the 9th, okay? So this would also be a good time for you, if you have questions, to reach out to me or come see me during my office hours, okay? So yeah, right here, the rough draft due by the 9th of September. And then the final draft will be due by the 19th. So you have a few weeks to really sort of work on this text. And also this gives you time to get feedback from me, feedback from your peers. And then the next week, we'll be doing a peer review. You will be reading each other's texts and sort of helping each other and giving suggestions and ideas. And it should be very helpful for you guys, because I want you to feel very comfortable in your final drafts. I'm not just going to throw the assignment at you and expect a perfect essay. We're going to be taking some time with this, but I want you to start thinking about it, because the rough draft will be due the 9th, okay? So also within the module, I give you the website. It's for MLA format. It goes into detail about what MLA format is. And I sort of give it to you in the module before. Basically, it's double space, 12-point font, new Times New Roman, and whatnot. So this is just a detailed explanation, guidelines of writing in MLA format. It's fairly simple. So that is there for you guys. I also have, so this is an additional resource. This is not worth points or anything. This is just for those of you that sort of need a refresher on maybe grammar, commas, punctuation, what have you. This is here for you to sort of get a refresher on that, because in this class, I don't have time to really focus on grammar and syntax and whatnot. Of course, I will help you along the way, but we don't have a lot of time to really just have a whole unit on grammar. So this is here for you. They have like little quizzes, and they kind of give you explanations of how to use a semicolon or what a run-on sentence looks like. Again, apostrophes, commas, things like that. So that is there for you. You click on it, they have some quizzes. It's not worth points, that's just for you. So it's not, doesn't go towards your grade in the class, it's just for you. So I believe that's all that you are doing this week. So you have the writing activity, which will be due by Wednesday. I have the outlining text that I believe is due, it's due Saturday. And then also the triple journal entry will be due Saturday, okay? So that's basically what you're doing this week. Also, one last thing is focus on your literacy narratives, but just a heads up, we will be starting to read The Hate You Give very soon. I would say within the next couple weeks, you need to have your book. Because this week we're going to focus on writing the draft. Next week we're going to do peer revision. And then that week after that, then we'll start reading from Andy Thomas's The Hate You Give. So you have a good couple weeks. So try to get these as soon as possible. I know you can find them on Amazon. I know you can probably find them at Barnes & Noble. This book should be pretty easy to find. So just start thinking about that. We're going to be reading this book soon when we go into our next unit of literary analysis. So again, if you have any questions, please reach out to me. I don't want anyone feeling overwhelmed or confused about the assignment. We have a few weeks to work on these essays, so you really have a good amount of time to perfect your essay, okay? Again, reach out to me by email or come see me during my office hours, or if you can't make that time, then please just email me and we can schedule an appointment, okay? All right, you guys have a good week.